Hello everyone. I'm gonna be doing some practice. Basically, if you want more information, please go ahead and type in !RFI19 in the chat and you'll be able to do that. The seed is going to be showing on screen. I'm not actively looking at the seed, so yeah. Basically, in about 40 minutes, I'll be doing the run, so just doing some movement practice. Okay. By the way, this is my near complete file, so a lot of the moons are already got, so I'm just kind of doing some movement practice. Early game I'm pretty decent with, so I'm not too concerned. I think what I'm more concerned about is probably Mecha Wiggler. That may be looking over Seaside, but I'm not too concerned about those two. I don't think it's in here. Nope. Hmm. Don't mind me, I've got the ResortFest stream up in the background, so that may be why I'm a little more quiet than usual kind of deal. That, and I'm really trying to remember where this fight right here was, because I need practice on it for sure. Also, I forgot, Mech 2 actually is a little trickier. Although I did Mech 2 one try. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. I need to make me another save with Mech 1. But I'm thinking I need to just sight read. Oh well. But yeah, so I think that was really my big focal point on it. Trying to think. I think movement-wise I'm as good as I'm getting. I got a pretty solid coin route. And by that I mean I've not had a problem out of the coin route anytime that I've done anything. Hey, thanks for the follow. I might actually not have the notifications on stream, so I will wait until the bot says. But, yep. Definitely thank you, and hello, Ant-Man. Right now I'm more kind of just doing practice for the upcoming marathon run I'm gonna be doing. But definitely we do all kinds of other stuff on the channel. For instance, earlier today, Peace was actually doing Fire Emblem. Ah, it was you. So thanks for the follow, Amp. But yeah, he was in the new Fire Emblem. His Wednesday streams have actually been the Marvel Ultimate Alliance. And we've got all kinds of different shows, much like tomorrow too, so definitely, if you like what you see, come back and check out our other stuff too. Like I said, right now I'm kind of more just doing some warm-up practice. I'm trying to think if there's anything important that I want to focus on. Because as you can see kind of overlaying the game there, that will actually play a bigger part when I do the marathon run, but it'll be the any percent moon randomizer that I've built for Odyssey, which what it does is it kind of gives you a list of moons within the requirements of certain runs. Case in point, the one I'll be doing will be for the any percent route, so it'll focus the same kind of guidelines that the any percent route has, but it'll give a list of moons that you have to get, as opposed to the route that is actually the quickest for the speed run. A little convoluted, but it does give a different way to kind of play the game in a more random sense. And yes, I am fixing to probably just practice the any percent route, even though that will probably not be what I get for Seaside. But a lot of it's because Seaside is probably my most inconsistent, mainly because of the first moon that I got and this one. Actually, I'm going to practice something else too. I'm practice remembering where all of these are. One of these times I'm gonna YOLO that jump and I'm gonna just go right in the pit. Like that's all there is to it. One of these times I'm gonna YOLO that jump and just go right into that pit without grabbing a ledge or anything. I can already see that coming. See, I did take that one out. I think I modified what that looks like so that I'd realize that's a sub area. I think, as far as Seaside's concerned, it should just be this other side over here. But the moon randomizer I do have also has some other flavors within it. You can do festival percent, and with the release of 2.2 you'll be able to do world peace also. And I'm designing it so that you don't have to know the speedrun route. You can actually just play it without any kind of special knowledge of the game. And what I mean by special knowledge is no clips are required. I am also going in, and one of the parts of the project I'm working on is designing it to where you can still utilize the clips, because it does actually change which moons you can get in each route. Okay, this usually bodies me hard. I'm amazed I'm doing this without a problem. Yep, that's what I was expecting. Okay. So if I sight read that, I'm good. I think I took that moon out. Because I did go in and I took out moons that took far too long. And Seaside was actually one of them that I had the most come out of. I think I took that one out though. But to put it into perspective, I'm wanting to say like 97 moons get randomized for the any percent route. I'm wanting to say it's right under 100. So this is definitely something neat to play around with. And like I said, Festival Percent is a smaller category, aka it goes up to Metro, so I more recommend that for people that haven't done anything first, because then that kind of weans you into it. But if you're interested in the randomizer, I believe you can type in !rando, and it should give you a link to my GitHub page for it. And you can actually download, I think the latest release is 2.1.1, which should have just been 2.1, but I'm not smart sometimes and forget to double check everything. So yeah, that wound up having a big bug fix. Captain Toad's up there. I think I had another moon over here that I might have left. I can't remember if I left this timer challenge or not. No, I got rid of this one. I remember that now. That one made the part of it's just a fair bit too far out. Right. Then I gotta go. I think I go to this one. A lot of moons on this one. I guess I didn't get any of these, so I think this is the one I did this. Yeah, ocean bottom maze, all that should be. I'm almost positive I left those in there. Sure, I'll do a race. Still got about 15 minutes or so before the run, so that wasn't my best, but 46.66. Gotta love that time. Let's see if I can bop anyone on friends list. Probably not. Gotta love hitboxes. What are hitboxes? I already got that timer challenge. Let's see here. What to practice? What to practice? I'm comfortable with movement. Yeah, I'm pretty comfortable with movement, actually. You know what? I'm going to practice some lost movement, because there is something that I spotted that would come really in handy, and I don't even know if this seed would actually have it. So let's test. See, I think technically I'm actually gonna just do it like this. Woo! Okay, so I can get that. Okay. But once you spawn the moon will stay there though, so if I was to grab that up there, then and something like that, I could do this. Here, Klepto. And grab the moon. So I could actually pull that off. Could I get out without it? I could if I didn't go so fast. Alright. Sounds good. I should be ready whenever. I do have the stream up on the side, so I should know when he gets finished and be able to transition straight from there. Yeah, I kind of needed that. Well, that was a whoops. Okay, that works. That's good enough, actually. Oh, I hadn't got this peach moon? Really? Of course, I guess I didn't go back to Lost either, so... Oh yeah, I need to practice fuzzies. Which if I got over the swamp, I could just fall right to it. Yeah. Okay, well, before we start, I am gonna be right back. Alright, and I am back. That's good. Okay, I wonder if you doubled, if you jump dive twice off of that? Okay, so I could hit that. Actually, I almost always get Butterfly's treasure. Okay. All right. And with that, it looks like it is about time for me to transition over, so we will be actually not paying attention to the TGS chat anymore. I am actually going in and probably disabling all... Whoops. Probably going in and disabling all of the alerts. Hello everyone on the ResortFest channel. I am Rampant Epsilon, and this is a little thing that I actually wound up creating. I can't take full credit for the idea. There was someone in the SMO community that he actually did a darker side moon randomizer in the same fashion, and I got to thinking, well, it might be interesting to try this in like a any percent method. And yeah, over time this has kind of proceeded to that. I am going to say this, everyone that's looking at the estimate, that was when I was first working on this, and that was actually where I figured high end was going to be. Looking at it, it's pretty easy to consistently be able to do a 2-hour run. So yeah, and I forgot the way I've got that split. The split's set up. I can't change to my actual ones for the rando, but oh well. But I'm going to go ahead and get this started, and then we will kind of go over the basics of it. So we'll start it up. That is actually a very good question there. The way I've set it up is essentially I have the any percent route, the base of it down. So for instance, and what this is actually going to be doing is not including any clips. So keep this in mind too. But basically the farthest story moon that you get within each kingdom is what I left as the base. So for instance, like you can see in Cascade, since we technically get world peace, everything there is still up to that point. Any moons that unlock after the Madame Brutal fight, though, never get included into the randomizer. Also, I'm going to probably goof up a lot of movement. I'm just going to point that out right now. Practice never works for me. Ever. But essentially each point will keep that. So like in Sand, because in the any percent route you never actually get any story progression moons, it's everything up to the first story moon, excluding it obviously. With certain kingdoms, that pretty much causes it to be the any percent route more often than not, that I've found out. And we will actually see stuff like that. Cascade, for instance, as I'm looking, that's pretty much what you would expect out of a any percent route. So we're not going to see anything different there. And that was because I did different movement. But essentially what I've done after the main list part itself is I've give each moon its own number, 1 to whatever we see for it. I think Cascade only had like 6. Whereas I'm wanting to say Seaside actually was one of them that was almost at 36 moons. So I can't remember the final outcome of that, but effectively each one of them gets a number 1 to whatever the max moon is. Then through random in JavaScript, each moon gets randomly selected based off of what's already been picked. So for instance, here you won't see like in sand, you won't see a potential for Alcove and the Ruins being in there twice. Helps keep duplicates out. There is a little bit of additional logic that I went in and did with it, because I found out that there actually is enough moons in Wooded, even without clips, for the final boss fight that any percent used to have. Effectively, yes. The difference with it is, instead of just getting like a moon number, you'll wind up seeing the moon name itself. The order is actually what it's listed on the wiki, so you could actually go down and figure out which one, and I am amazed that made that. But Cascade's pretty much going to be one of those. Right now it's going to be normal, and by normal I mean I'm going to miss easy stuff. The real trick's going to come in, and I can honestly say sand is probably one of my favorite ones with this kind of setup, because it's almost always gave me a weird set of moons in order for me to make a completely different route with. But we'll kind of see as it's going some of the chaos that can ensue here. I'm not even concerned about my time. But looking at what Sans gave me, I was kind of... to be fair, I didn't look until it actually transitioned over, and then I was looking, and Cascade and Sand this time almost are any percent route. Effectively, yeah, it is more of an improv for the route. I feel like while this... I've not missed that in quite some time. Mario, quit grabbing the pipe. But I feel like, oddly enough, this only works good for any percent, and honestly the darker side one that I was mentioning, because both of them have enough moons for it to actually cause a decent shift in routing. You'll notice Lake this time's not really that changed. I've had some that were almost on par with it, and that was way too early. Whereas sometimes it might wind up being like this one, where it's a little more obscure. So it is a hit and miss. I have been working too, and I'm actually truthfully working on it actively right now, the World Peace variant of it, and it's actually all going to be within the same program. It's actually, if anyone wanted to download it and try it themselves, you can go to github.com/rampantepsilon, and it's there. The World Peace one, I'm definitely wanting someone to be able to help with, because I have only actually done one World Peace run, and it was not even really one that I was super serious with. And it begins. I could have swore I saw that one on there. I guess now, though, would probably be a good time for me to mention I do plan at some point tomorrow to donate $1 for every moon that I goof up and get because I'm not paying attention. So there's one already. I think I've been on average winding up, messing up, and grabbing 2 extra. So we'll see how many I do this time. I can't click the right spots. Well, I should have got bird when I had the chance. I still could have got him. I really want to try to get the bird here because I do have to wait over there with the music note one, but I'd rather try to minimize how many I got over there. And this way I can try to chain it. I say try. I'm trying to see if I spot any that I know are just like way out of the way right here. But like I said, I did try to keep it down to a case of you don't have a lot of, you've got to go through so many story moons. The idea is still to keep it within the means of any percent, in the sense of you don't want long moons. Seaside will actually see a lot of moons that actually could be in there, just no longer there. And a lot of that is because I did go in and kind of play test some of these, so I'd figured out which moons are not working. How about let's not try to get 2 in sand that I'm not supposed to get? Like, that might be the smarter thing to do here. There'll be plenty of other kingdoms for me to goof up. I got that one too. You will notice too, if down at the bottom, most of them do, but there's actually a sub area that there's one there that I was like, that's a little too far out. Like, the sub area wasn't long, but when you combine that with having to get to it, it made it a little bit too long. And it was more of a combination of that, plus I think at the time I had, I'm wanting to say 36 plus moons, and I'm like, ooh, that's just way too much to be trying for. I'm trying to... Oh, I know which one that is now. Darn, I should have got that one while I was over there. You'll notice I will do that sometimes, and that's part of the reason for the extended estimate there. The last 2 I did around the 2-hour mark as far as completion. So to put it in perspective, this could easily be far quicker. But that is actually the closest we ever get. I could go up here and get that one. No. We'll just never see that one enter the any percent part. And I actually debated doing that, but the cutscene was actually what kind of put me at the point of, I don't think I'll add that one. Because while you could potentially be that close, remember what I just said about not trying to get two. While you could potentially get that close, I would rather not do that. Plus, that out of all the different seeds I've made, that Secret of the Mural is actually one of the rare ones somehow. And I don't get how, really, because they all should be fairly even. One of those random logic for you. Sometimes computers don't understand random. That one note. Ah, I didn't get it. I'd line that up better. I just was not content with that one at all for some reason, even though that was right where I wanted it to be. Right, I do need that moon. And I have noticed, as much as I've messed around with this, I tend to start getting stuff mixed up because I'll be testing to see how stuff randomizes in one variant, and then I will decide to do a run with it, and it's like, I got them all mixed up. Wait, why did I do that? That one? Why do I feel like, yeah, I did not get that checkpoint. I knew I was coming back for the shop moon, so I just ignored the checkpoint. Shoutouts to me buying that moon without even looking. And I do want to mention too, one of the other nicer things I added to it is the single column layout, because by default I was having it in a like side by side, so I'm wanting to say it split it to where you could see everything up to Metro in one, but it was way too wide to try to use it in a stream setting. So I added a single column layout. Try to make that a little easier. It's honestly kind of more or less a toggle button, so to say. And that's actually the view we're seeing right here. So now here is where like starts, or where the randomizer looks like it's starting to actually kick into play. Okay, normally I don't whiff that platform like that. That was weird. Mario just said, I'm not jumping high enough. And you can't make me. Okay. And now we're gonna go see our friend Captain Toad. Like I said, I feel like this one probably is giving me at least one of the more interesting routes. Really? Ah! Mario, that was not cool. Captain Toad will swim to the bottom of the lake, way below any kind of civilization, but he's scared of fish. And you know, it wasn't until I started doing some of this that I was like, I forgot about that moon. That moon, our secret room, that's one of them right there that I'm like, I actually forgot about that room. And I feel like most people probably do that speedrun this game because of the simple fact of we never go there. Very true. He must have been. And maybe just the cheap sheeps are too much of a resemblance for him. Also, I'm sure there's quicker movement for that room. I've just yet to figure it out. One of these days I will get that. And now we're off to the fight. That is very true. But I mean, like, okay, even for the speedrun stuff, I feel like some of the moons most people remember to a point. And I have to think it's because of like darker side runs, where it's a case of people remember it because, you know, they've seen others at least run it, even if they don't themselves. Also, shoutouts to the only boss that I have completely died to because I go too fast. Like, I mean, that's the only thing I can think of. And that was honestly when I found stuff like that, our secret room one, and I was like, oh yeah, I forgot this one exists. That's when I started kind of going, you know, I'd like to do world peace with this at some point. And maybe if I can route in some of the dark side stuff, I might try to do that. I might leave that to someone that's a little more gutsy than me, though. One of those, I'm like, yeah, I might leave that to someone else that is a little more gutsy, but I don't know. That might be an in-game kind of idea for me. Because I feel like something in terms of looking at maybe all the moons would really kind of be interesting. And I feel like with the dark side one, I could probably get away with looking at everything on a first pass kind of deal. I don't know. I've never ran dark or darker side, so yeah. I can't believe I missed the rabbit. I have not done that in so long, that's pathetic. I don't actually... Oh yeah, that one's there. I was gonna say, I don't actually see that moon. That's weird. And in case anyone wonders why I'm having a hard time seeing some of these, it is actually because of the fact of they're in order, not from how you would collect them, but in order from how they're listed on the wiki. That way, for newer people that might not know all the moons by name, they can, hold on. I just completely whiffed that movement. But that way they can just pull up the wiki and be able to look straight through. Now, to this, I'm sure someone's probably thinking, well, how does that help? It's not like the randomizer has the wiki in it. It actually has links that will pull up windows showing all of them, though. The way I kind of made the app is effectively using a lot of web elements. So it's almost like a website, just in an app. But, for instance, where it says, whoa. Well, that happened. I looked away for like 2 seconds. But for instance, where it says Wooded Kingdom on the randomizer, if I was to click that, I would get a list of all the moons in the Wooded Kingdom in order. Meaning that they would also fall in order of how they're showed in the list of moons to get. I got 6 moons in this kingdom so far, so I need to figure out what I didn't mark. Oh, I know what I didn't mark now. Okay. Okay. You're very true on that, and I know even Odyssey any percent. Granted, it was more because of glitches than anything, but, well, I say glitches, clips more than anything. It has had a lot of changes, as well as I'm wanting to say even like Darker Side has had some pretty significant changes. Like, I've never done a Darker Side run, but I have watched others do Darker Side runs. So, I'm not completely in the dark on that one. Wow. That was the bonk of the century right there. Wow. I feel like I almost want to blame the camera on that one, but at the same time, I know that was just me. Yep. That's a double long jump there. All right. Oh, that was... Also, fun fact, never fall in that pit. Just never. Especially if you're doing a run. I remember one of my early runs, I fell in that pit because I was like, oh, well, that won't do nothing if you fall there. I immediately realized why you never fall in that pit. Okay, game. I gave you the other one because I've done that countless times before. What was that? I would possibly hope so, but we've probably got lurkers in the chat too. Okay, that probably shouldn't have let me do that, but okay. You know, I feel like I can't get mad at stuff like happened with the guardrail because then the game decides it wants to give me stuff like that behind it, so it's like, okay. I am so glad that triple jump didn't go off, because that was not the right placement for that. One thing I am surprised with is the fact that there's not been a lot of right, I gotta hit the ground. There's not been a lot of shop moons this time around. Because I had one that almost every kingdom had a shop moon, and I'm like, oh my gosh. My coin wallet, it just says no. Now, here is the part that really doesn't appear in the Moon Randomizer at all, and it's because of what it is. But Cloud Kingdom, as well as Moon, do not exist in it. And the reason being is there's not moons in either kingdom that you actually get in any percent route, so yeah. I can't say there's no moons in the kingdom because there is in both, but yeah. The Bowser fight gives you nothing in either kingdom, so yeah. And preemptive strike here to anyone that wants me to try to do any kind of faster Bowser hat strats, not gonna happen. The fastest that it's going is that right there. I have not learned the damage boost and the top bounce stuff, so I probably need to, so that stuff like what I just did there doesn't happen repeatedly, but that's one of those that I'm just like, this is quick enough, so I'm like, it'll work. Like, my any percent time isn't even a sub 120 yet. If I was getting like a sub 110 or something, I'd probably try to learn it. Yeah, that's kind of how I look at it. Because I'm like, my sum of best for any percent is a 117. If that said that my sum of best was like a 107, maybe I would prioritize that, but yeah, I've got more work than just that. And lost. I have to say this is probably my least favorite in here because of the simple fact of some of the stuff. Okay. Some of the stuff that you would expect to actually get, the Moon Randomizer typically tells you no. Because there's 20 different moons and you need 10. I gotta remember which one this is. I think it's that one. I hope it's that one. Oh wow, that was on the list too. Okay. I'll take it. So, to be fair, I thought that one was enjoying the view. Just so that everyone knows. No, this one's enjoying the view. And remember how I said about the shopping moons? I shouldn't have said something. At least I don't have to buy one in Metro, so I've got some time to build coins up. Oh man, that moon. Oof. I don't know the quick way for that. Okay. I know that moon. Alright. Now I was playing with this before. Nope, that didn't work. Okay. So we're going with the backup. So I was playing with that one before the stream, well, before the marathon run, And I pulled it off, so I thought it was doable. I am now seeing that I was sadly mistaken. I think you can get the tree one there without it. I don't remember though. So there again, that's another one of those that I'm like, better safe than sorry. And I have learned so much with Klepto there that it is pathetic. Because I have done dumb stuff like try to throw Cappy to save myself and it be within his hitbox. The bird has an enormous hitbox, and I don't know why. Oh, I don't need any of these. Okay. Not gonna ask how that worked. Also, I'm gonna try to do this wigglerless. I know it's doable for me. The question is, can I do it? The answer is no. Yep, the answer to that question was a resounding no. Shoutouts to that Wiggler hitbox right there. Okay. Okay. You know what? I'll actually take that. That was my fault. There we go. Because I know I can make... Well... Okay. Nope, I'm not going to finish that comment. I started to say because I know I can make that. I would have said that, and I probably would have immediately died. I think I'm gonna go do this first. I think I'm going to the... Yeah, it's over by the Odyssey. I don't know the real strat for this. Because I'm wanting to say this moon actually... I feel like it's actually only a... moon that you get in like one of the longer runs. I think it's gonna be quicker doing this than trying to run all the way back. Oh, that does stay busted. Wait. Wait. I know what'll happen if I do that. There we go. Yeah. Yeah, I go back to my statement about Lost is probably one of the few that I really don't like in terms of the randomizer, because I've not had too many decent routes with it. It's usually a combination of stuff like that, where I've got the twist and turn up treasure, which actually that's truthfully a little more on the rare side, getting that one. But it'd be stuff like one of the fuzzies, getting the Captain Toad one, then doing a lot of the normal route. It's like some of them it's harder to chain because of Klepto. Yeah. But really nothing, I never feel like it's too bad, because even with that, considering it was moons that I'm not used to, I think it still was like 8 minutes, so that's not even tripling the time that I've got for Lost. So I'm like, that's bad, but it could be far worse. I was going to say I might want to pay attention here, because there is one moon that will not actually show. Luckily it's in there. Metro, if I don't do something dumb like that, is usually kind of the opposite. It never feels out of place. Ooh, that was a save. And I don't try to go for quick in here because I do stupid stuff like that all the time. All the time. And it doesn't look like I need that moon, so we're just gonna dodge it. And that jump right there is deceptively hard for anyone that hasn't ran this game. Like, it finally took me just doing a different placement for me to be like, okay, I've got it. Why do I keep wanting to do triggers? I've done that twice today. It's like I know that's not it, but for some reason when I get in this tank, my mind just says, oh, I need to use triggers. Yeah. I just don't even want to say this boss's name, because I'm fine with the boss. I just really hate some of the way that it can be like hard RNG for whether or not you can two-cycle it. And like, I figured out certain placements to get Mecha Wiggler to do certain things consistent, but then it still just is a RNG. And I was gonna say, and watch me two-cycle it. I was sitting beforehand thinking, you know, that would be really nice if I could just two-cycle it. Because I already knew this run was gonna be just a little bit too long, and I was like, yeah, it'd be really nice if the one thing that could speed up, because, you know, it's doable, could just speed up. And yeah, of course it does. I've done messed up all kinds of other stuff, so of course it does good. Gotta love it. Boy, this metro feels weird. Ah, I didn't do that right. Well, there's number 2. That was not the moon I thought it was. Oops. I'm not doing the moon, but I do want to point out a little fun fact. The RC car moons, one unlocks the other one, and I have got the randomizer coded to where it will actually determine whether or not you've gotten the first one before giving you the second one. Some of the earlier builds of it, I didn't think about trying to do something like that, and at first I didn't realize that it would kind of, if you got the second one, it would force you to have to do both. So that is something that I originally fixed, but yeah. That is one of those little fun facts there. That is... It wasn't as complicated to get it fixed, but that was one of those I didn't think about the one moon needing to be required for the other concept in that one, and it's like, oh, right. Oops. Alright. And if anyone wonders why I'm a little bit delayed on counting the moons, it's more of a case of I'm wanting to try to get to points where it's easier to mark them, because case in point, like we're fixing to see here, getting this moon and bench friends back to back, there's not much time to mark one and then the other. I missed the bench. However, I can kind of hit it in between. I don't have the slots. Oh, I realized something else I forgot. The different colors for the moon names. I forgot to completely mention that. There is technically 4. Really only 3 of them are colored. The other one's just the default color. But black moons are anything that can be found within the overworld. So case in point, like, how did they take out the trash? That one can be found in the overworld, so that one's just normal black. Did I really get that and not need to? Yes. Red moons are essentially, they're marked as required, but they are the... I didn't need that one either. Ha! Well, what I get? What I get? I could have swore though I saw that one. Oh well. But red moons are what's marked as required. I know why I came down now. And what that essentially means is that is a moon that's required to unlock everything that the any percent randomizer uses, which each one it'll be different moons. So festival will have actually the same as any, but not until you get to Metro, and World Peace will literally have the moons to get World Peace. Okay. The blue ones are sub-area moons. So basically, and the definition I use for it is a little bit different than how the bingo does, but effectively, it's any moon that is not in the main overworld. So if you have to go through a transition like the... Actually, don't need that one. Like the moon going to the lighthouse in Seaside, that moon in that underwater tunnel I marked as a sub-area moon because it's not in the main area. Even though you technically still have to get... Ooh, that shouldn't have worked. Even though you technically have to treat that as part of the main world. And then there's purple ones, which that signifies it's either a shop moon or a slot moon. I hope it's that one. I was gonna say, otherwise I'm fixing to have to redo this whole thing. But yeah, and if you're new to it and not sure what the color codes are, it is listed. Probably saw it at the beginning of the run up at the top of the randomizer. So if you're ever confused on it, you could go back and figure out which one's which. Granted, a lot of times you'll pretty much be able to figure that out on your own without any kind of guidance, but it's one of those that helps make it a little easier. I just realized this might be a little bit more challenging, so I'm going to focus on this part. If I miss one, it's going to be the first one. Okay. I think I've got it at this point. Not gonna lie, that last one I winged it. Also, shoutouts to camera. And if it looks like I've memorized where these are, it's because I actually have. It's one of those, I got so turned around in these that I just finally was like, nope, I am figuring out where these are. Ooh, boy. And you can actually kind of cheese that one where you don't have to ride those last ones, but yeah. But I did get that one. Yeah, I got 3 extra in this one, so okay. Wait a minute, did I? I might have only got 2 extra. Ah, I did. I thought I saw that one on there. Okay. Well, then I didn't do as bad as I thought I did. Right? I forgot all about OTAP. I wasn't even thinking about OTAP. I was more trying to figure out if I goofed and got 3 extra moons or 2. At some point in the future, I would like to be able to have a way to modify. Yeah, I know. They never can. 2017 memes must always live. At some point in the future, I would love to be able to sit down and try to map these moons and set it up to where it lists them in some kind of an order, but I almost feel like that will probably never happen for the simple fact of I feel like that's going to take away part of it. It's one of those, I would like to do something like that as maybe like a optional setting where maybe newer people could decide to have it set up more in a route for them. But I also kind of feel like that takes away some of it, because then that removes the whole impromptu routing. And I'm like, I don't think that would ever be it's there for everyone. I think that would be it might be a setting that you could turn on. And like, this project is far from over, because I might, once I get world peace done, start working on doing certain things that I'm wanting to do, like setting the moons to be able to be listed in maybe like a route of some kind, and just kind of play around that in maybe like a dev build, not an actual release. Yeah, I saw that coming a mile away. As soon as I did that last jump, I'm like, that's not a moon on there, is it? 12 moons in this kingdom. I know the number on it. We get 10 of them in the route. Half the time I go into any % route mode for it, because it's like, yeah, most of them are there. And I think the Rango 2 fight I removed from it. So like, there could have been a third. Why am I not getting this? One of those, I need to seriously practice that again. Because that's a lot of times in a row right there that I've missed that. Notice I'm now checking. Because I'm like, yeah, I'm not paying attention enough. Now for the room that I hate the most. And anyone that's ever seen any, and I mean any, of my any % attempts would know exactly why I say that this is the room I hate the most. I try to go too fast too many times, and I eat the purple goop, and the purple goop is not fun to eat. It's gonna make me go to all 4 again. Wow. The randomizer hates me. That's like the last 3 seeds that it's just been like, you're going to all 4 rooms. Just go for it. And it's part of the reason why I removed the Rango 2 fight from it. Because it's like, no. I don't want that potential. We're getting all of the seals. That's one of those that's just too close to world peace for me right there. I did not think I had the right angle, but I still wanted to go for that. All right. 2 more moons and then we're out. Yep. I should have just rolled on that one, not trying it. Now, I don't know if it's actually faster. It feels like it to me. So I do it this way instead. It at least feels more consistent. But I usually go for the snowy mountain moon, and then I just dive back for the door. Like I said, I don't know if it's actually faster. It might be faster to do it this, to do the do this treasure chest moon first. I'm honestly not sure on that. I love how Mario slid down the wall right there at that crack. He's like, I don't want to touch it today. But coming out of snow, trying to think, because I don't. Don't know. I honestly feel like a sub 2 is definitely still possible. I would say it depends on luncheon, but actually I think it depends on Seaside. Let's see. Wait, I really don't have that one? That's weird. I mean, that works, but that's weird. Glad I practiced that. I've got hurry and stretch on this one. Yay. I really don't like that moon. Me and that moon have this hate-hate relationship going on. it's funny you mentioned Snowdram. For one, I can't do it. Mainly because I've not took the time to actually... Ooh. Let's not fall in that hole. Mainly because I've not took the time to learn some of the, honestly, better tech. One of those I want to try to get there on... I want to try to get a decent time on out of my skill level first before I start pushing. Because as I said, I think my PB is a 120. My sum of best is a 117. If that was within a minute, then I would probably be a little more like, yeah, I'll start learning a lot more tech, because that's going to be the only way to break it down. But I know there's more time saved. But Snowdram's actually going to be a possibility when it comes to the next release, actually, because I'm going to start adding in where you can do different clips, and Snowdram actually is one of those that gets added. I just completely ran away from one. I just realized that. But yeah, I think me and Seaside have this hate-hate relationship when it comes to this randomizer. It hates to give me moons that I can do relatively easy, and I hate doing Seaside because of it. I have not done that moon in so long. Shoutouts to SM64 reactions right there, because that's all that I can say to that. No. Actually. That one. I might actually have to look at this one while I'm going to another. Because I'm thinking I know what that one is, but I don't actually. Oh. Right. So shoutouts to me not being able to tell that's blue instead of black. Remember the one that I said about changing? Yeah, I just did the DOM that I tried to avoid. I don't know why I can't tell that's blue. Because I know I changed it for this one. Because I've done that exact same thing before. All right. Actually, I can't do it that way. Because that requires a moon. We're fixing to see if this works. Okay. I was going to take the old any percent route. Ooh. Least favorite to get in the randomizer. I feel like it's kind of... as weird as it is, I think it probably would be either Hurry and Stretch or that, or the, I can't remember the name, but it's the other moon within that same sub area. And I think it's more because I've always kind of been trash with the uproots. So it's one of those that's like, yeah, I really don't like that one. Because like a lot of the other moons that I've got or kingdoms I should say, that I have any kind of problems with the moons, it's more that the randomizer has this innate ability to decide it's going to put them with moons that won't work with it. So that's probably the cause of that right there. I'm honestly trying to think of any others that I'm just like, I really don't like, but none of them are coming to the top of my head. Because the problems I've got with Lost a lot of times, that's one of those... It's more, I hate the way that it just is gonna give you a weird route no matter what you try to do. It's not so much that I don't like the moons, it's just, yeah, I really don't like the way that it gives you that route. But there's nothing that you can do outside of just do the any percent route in Lost instead, and then that kind of cheapens it, in my opinion. Because we'll notice even right here, I really don't have a problem with anything that I see out of luncheon either. Now, I am going to say this. That answer might be something to be revisited after I do some playtesting with World Peace. Because right now I'm just in the see if logic works state. I'm not really in the does it actually work. So it's very possible that I might find a World Peace moon that I'm like, no. To be fair, I should probably be doing this one after. And no, I don't know cheeseless strap. Okay. I so wish there would be a skip for luncheon to where you wouldn't have to do this fight. Unfortunately, everything I've seen though, you pretty much have to do the fight or you won't get enough moons to actually finish. And it's like, oh, that kind of bites. Always, always, every speeder fight I get hit. Everyone. Every speeder fight. And it's usually that third one. Never, chat will not mind. No, chat should mind, hopefully, maybe. But yeah. See. Really? This one's not in there? Thank you. I'm either fixing to have another moon to add to my accidentally collected totals, or this is right. Yep, I thought so. That's the other one. Oh, I had another moon I could have done in that first part. Oops. Shoutouts to me not paying attention to what I'm buying. And now I'm gonna have to come back. Oh boy. Yeah, that did not give enough. Hey. That's not there. Well, there goes that. That was a real good spend. Not that one. That one. Well, don't mind me, as I'm just gonna try to get some coins while I'm at it. Apparently, I need to figure out a way to limit how many shot moons it'll give you, because that wasn't one either. I was more coming up here for this, not for the moon. Ah, well. Okay. That should be number 2. I guess since I had to come back... No. No. Much as I really don't want to come back a third time. Right. Well then. Yep. You know, that's a good question. I probably should find out. Because I've never actually tried that. And I'm sure I could have made it over there. It was one of those, I was not having a decent time with that. So I was like, you know what? We're just going to do it this way. Ideally, I would have just doubled back once. Oh. I wasn't even thinking about those being sub-area moons. Not at all. I wasn't even thinking about that. Okay. Wait, that wasn't that one? Oh, that's right, there is another. Okay. I think I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to come back. Because I did realize that I just completely derped and forgot to look at the sub-area moons, so I did actually skip a little bit of them. That's the only one we got around here? Okay. All right. Now I've only got the one more. One more sub area, man. I think provided that I don't do yet another lap in lunch, and then I've probably not messed myself up too bad. I might grab that moon, I don't know. I wasn't actually intending to grab that right then. That's what I actually intended to do, but whoops. Because I was going to try to get both of those at the same time. Actually, no, I know what I'm gonna do. That way when I inevitably miss that one, then it won't be as bad. Whoop, whoop. That kill plane is extremely high. Okay. That was one of those abandon the lava bubble. Could be this one. Can I make that? Nope. Okay. Okay. I think what inevitably happened with my coin count was, had I played it a little smarter, I would have actually gotten probably the Sphinx Vault in Seaside just to go ahead and get it out of the way. There's the Twitch mate. I was gonna say, I don't think I had that lined up good enough for me to just YOLO that. I really didn't. Alright. I should have got the love above the lava one at the very beginning, so I'm going to go ahead and rectify that situation by getting it now. Okay. Shoutouts to that working not how I intended, but good enough. I've got way too many moons. Yep. I have honestly got to say this is probably the most miscellaneous ones that I've gotten. But pretty much at this point it should be pretty easy. And I think really the worst thing that's left is the big showdown with the Mecha Brutal. And I feel like the joke's been done enough, but for those that don't know, Mario's in Dark Souls. This is our Dark Souls cameo. Say hi, dragon. I said say hi, dragon. Okay, fine. Don't say hi. I'll just knock you in the head since you won't tell everyone hi. And I just like doing the spins for the heck of it. Yep, that's usually what happens. I get hit. Honestly, this is like the auto-scroller of the game. Oh, I did that backwards. Although, that was actually weird. The dragon even did it backwards. That was... I've never actually had that happen. Okay. Now I have had that happen. Ground pound just a hair too early. Now, I know someone is probably looking at the moon randomizer and is like, why is Ruined in there? There's only like 4 moons in the kingdom until you beat the dragon. Yeah. But there is something that I've actually cut off on the screen. There is a moon total count. I started to leave Ruined out. The issue with that is I would have had to have figured out a way to where the randomizer would have known when you got up to 113 just to jump up to 116 on the moon count in order to make it look right, so I just left it in there. I did kind of go lazy route with it, but it's a case of that's the minor deal with it. So I'm like, it's fine. Plus, you never know. Down the road, someone might find a skip to where we don't have to battle Dark Souls Dragon. I kind of hope not, because that's honestly a really good auto-scroller part, so to say. I actually don't remember this one. I actually do not remember that one. Why do I not remember that one? Oh, okay. That might be why. That or box souls, one of the two. Okay. I don't know why the note one is farther down though. That's actually interesting. Ah, not what I wanted to do. Oh, I know where that moon is now. Okay. Shout outs to Hidden Blocks. Ooh. Okay, that got me. Not even gonna lie. Well, it's that moon, by the way. I actually never knew of it as that name. I guess that makes sense, though. And at this point, I'm pretty much just going to go ahead and mark them all. The reason why is because... the reason why is pretty much the rest of this is going to be a straight-on shoot for everything, so... Now let's see if I can have a better Harriet fight than I had the other day. I had one Harriet fight that I literally got bodied. And I've never gotten bodied by her before. Well, that was honestly the best RNG I could ever have asked for off of that. All the way around. Also, I see Speedrun Police is back. Now for the fight that took me forever to realize there was a cheese method for it. That was not where I wanted you to go, Cappy. Darn it, Cappy. Darn it. Alright. Apparently Mario was not giving me the jump height I needed, so that could have went better, but it also could have went way worse. Now to climb the wall to do the brutal fight. I know there's a quicker way. I fail it more than I succeed at it. This is honestly quicker for me. Hey, I got my rhythm for that. Last like 4 runs I've done, I've gotten hit by something right in there. That's why I'm like, hey, I got my rhythm. No, Mario. I saw that recapture, that was not what I wanted. Also, who wants to see Quick Mecha Brutal? Because that's not gonna happen. I tried to do somewhat of a faster Mecha Brutal than what is at least dev intended. That doesn't mean it works. Yeah. I've got to admit though, the Mecha Brutal fight looks really awesome when it's done properly. I just can't do it properly. Ah, dang it. It gave me a flick input. I didn't want a flick input. If I can get the Pokio to stick in the top, I usually can get a pretty decent. Huh. I can honestly say I've not actually done this. Okay, I will take that any day. That actually might be quicker than what I usually attempt to do. Because looking at this, I might accidentally save some time on that split, so... A happy accident might have actually just worked in my favor. Like I said though, a good... And I'll even say it this way, a good speedrunner can make that fight look amazing. I can't. I've tried adapting parts of it, but I tend to fail repeatedly. So I inevitably go back to dev intended every time. And it looks like final total is going to be 7 moons over. Yep. 7 moons over. So at some point tomorrow I'll be donating 7. I need to actually look, because I might donate to the boxer incentive for the race. I need to look and see if that one's still up, because if it is, that might be what I do. I'm willing to bet sub 2 is going to be dead simply because I was being complete and utter garbage on the last sub 2 I had. And it was post the Bowser fight. Yeah, escape. I managed to be trash at. I have never had as many problems as I did in that one. And I honestly felt like some of that wasn't even my fault. I felt like some of that was the game dropped inputs in the 2D section. And I'm like, game, can we quit doing that? Moon skip time. Oh, nope, that was wrong. I'm not getting the right height somehow. Ah, that time I wasn't up against the wall. Darn it. Nope, I didn't think. I thought it... There it is. To be fair, as much as I have... as much as I have failed that over all of my runs, that makes sense that I would have that many problems after I figured out a decent setup. After I figured out the decent setup for it. Yeah, and that would be funny, Orkster, because I would not have expected that to have happened either. Ah. I know I'm not Jack, but I'm willing to bet the answer's probably gonna be no. Like, unless someone can do it manually. That's what I get for looking away. That's all I've got to say to that. Forgot what phase I was on. I think I had another Bowser fight that I did the exact same thing because I forgot what I was doing. And I'm just like, oh, keep punching. Jump over the tail once, keep punching. Like, nope. Ooh. Ooh. I miscounted. I miscounted big time. How I didn't take damage is beyond me. Whoops. All right. Time to choke. I mean, time to not choke. Now, hopefully all of my garbage at this was done. I say as I completely almost messed that triple jump up for like the upteenth time. Hey, no dropped input that time. By the way, it was on that first brick block jump that I had the dropped input. To be fair, I feel like kill the animals is the right choice in a speedrun sense. I was gonna say, please tell me that did not actually finish that, because that actually messed me up. I've never hit that first pillar to bust it, and that was actually one of the many goof ups that I had at the ending. Uh-oh. 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 Okay. I hit that a little early. But I can't believe that still actually did it. Okay. Not even gonna acknowledge as to why, but that is time. And I still sub-2'd. But on that note, the ending and the beginning technically look just like the any percent route, but the main randomizer does change a little bit. Case in point with mine, it added about 45 minutes to what my PB was, so it's definitely a good way to see different moons. I recommend people at least testing it out and giving me feedback on it, because that would be helpful. But it is a different way of being able to do any percent runs, and I almost feel like it's kind of doing this project overall has kind of revived the whole I kind of want to get back to any percent runs again. I had way too much going before when I was doing any percent, and I was like, I'm getting to the point where I'm burning myself out, and this has kind of changed it a bit. But if anyone wants to know anything about it, they can go over to the Game & Slim Networks chat and put in !rando, and that'll give you a link to the randomizer. If you don't want to go over and do that, then you can go to github.com/rampantepsilon and you'll find the main randomizer in my list there. There is a site too to where if you have someone else that wants to play but they don't want to download the randomizer, you can give them the seed and point them to that site and they'll be able to play along with the same seed. I'm trying to get it fully up to date before releasing the next version of the randomizer. But like I said, I did get 7 extra moons, so that will be $7 I'll donate tomorrow. But on that note, that will actually take care of it for me, and I want to thank everyone for organizing this and letting me be a part of it, and let's raise some more money.
Thank you so much for playing my game.
Also, before I end this off, I do want to also thank Megalomaster for following the channel. I don't know if you're still around or not, but it's definitely appreciated. And for everyone that did drop by, if any of you are still around, I do appreciate you all hopping in. And I'm going to cut it there on our side, and I will see you all later today with TGS alongside Peacemaker 2448. Later.